Welcome to Ghoulish Gab, always spooky, always under 7 minutes. Today we are going to talk about films that ruined a franchise. For you, for us personally, or that we feel did just damage to the whole franchise. And Kayla, why don't you start us off today?
Okay, first one I have Hellraiser Inferno. If I remember correctly, it is the fifth one in the franchise.
That sounds
And
about right.
so it's about a corrupt cop that finds the puzzle box and is investigating these ritualistic murders. And then he's like, oh, wait, am I doing the murders? And then he finds out, spoiler alert, that he's in his own personal hell and he's doomed to repeat this for whatever. It doesn't hit the mark for me. The first four movies I love.
Yeah.
I'm a Hellraiser fan. And it's just a different style and it might be good to others. I was reading reviews on it in preparation for this, and there's tons of people who are like, this is the best movie. And all I can think is that they really don't like the Hellraiser franchise. They just like this movie and then want it to be a thing, but it does not do it for me.
I think, and I could be wrong, someone will let me know if I am, but that movie might have started out as not a Hellraiser movie and then somehow kind of got forced into it.
Oh, I'd never heard
Um,
that. So that would track because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with the rest of the films. Like fucking Pinhead went to space, and I still like that better than this. That's how I feel about this movie.
we'll have to look into that. I'm pretty sure I remember reading about that before, but also I could be wrong. Sometimes the internet is the internet.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just go with a kind of controversial one, and I think that this I don't dislike this movie, but I think there's something that the movie did that kind of ruined everything going forward. And this is Halloween 2. And
Oh,
this is the one where you find out that Michael, is related to Laurie. And I thought
okay.
that in the first movie, it was much more exciting when you had the element of who, the babysitter who's just being stalked, and you don't know who this killer is, why they're doing it, why they chose this victim. And I think that's kind of terrifying, just to sit there and think, well, this is random. This could happen to
Completely random.
anybody. And I think if they would have kept the franchise like that, it could have been more exciting. So I don't think that Halloween 2 is a trash movie, but I think that in a certain way that introducing that piece of information kind of ruins the franchise overall. And they just based every other movie just centered on that and nothing else for a long time until like Halloween 5 or 6, but or whatever.
I could get on board with
Franchise is a
that.
mess.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, you picked a really early movie. All of my picks are later in the franchise because I guess maybe I feel like people lost their way, but I understand where you're
Yeah.
coming from. Because my next one was Survival of the Dead, which was the 2009 George A. Romero part of the Living Dead series.
Yeah.
It just it doesn't feel the same. It feels like they were trying to go for what they had worked on in Diary of the Dead, which I think came out in 2007, which was really good. I enjoyed that one a lot. And it feels like they were trying to match that and they just missed the mark. It had a total I'm a huge zombie movie fan, and part of what I like about zombie movies is the urgency, the survival mode feeling. And that
Yeah.
feeling was just gone in that. It just felt really bland and dumb.
Yeah. I remember watching that once when it came out, and I don't even really remember much about it. And I love all the other Night of Dawn of Day movies. So
Yeah.
yeah, my next one is Critters 4. It was just no fun. This also just seems like a movie where the critters were just kind of jammed in there a little bit, and it just didn't. Nothing about it felt natural. The first three are fun and ridiculous, and this one just didn't have any of the tones of the other movies. Simple one.
Yep. My other one was, again, apparently 2009 for me was a bad year for films. The Final Destination.
Oh yeah,
Uh, the whole opening scene of like where the death starts out is in a racetrack, which I didn't love. I'll watch NASCAR. I don't I have no problem with it. But the whole thing was just surprisingly boring and predictable, which the whole point of these movies up until this point is they are predictable. These people didn't die. Now you're going to watch them die. But yet somehow it was more predictable than all the previous movies. And then my favorite thing that I say is 3D is a bad idea for horror. Just don't put horror movies in 3D. Just don't do it.
that's fair. I'm gonna leave us with Alien 3,
Oh, I
which
liked it. Really?
it's not that they killed off Newton Hicks, which kind of ruins a lot of the stuff that happened, or makes some things that happened in the second movie seem pointless or stupid, or just you're just like, why? And then they kill a dog. They don't need to do that. The dog dies, and then Ripley gets pregnant with an alien. Um, I don't. Maybe
I
it
see
ruined the
what you're saying.
franchise. It's just it. I don't know. The first two movies are so fucking good, but we're out of time. So why don't you tell us in the comments why you hate our picks and give us your picks of movies that you think kind of ruined franchises for you or just the worst entries in a franchise.
And be prepared for arguments because anytime you have these conversations, people hate you.